Welcome back. This is the final part to making the Star Stitch baby booties. There's only 3 pieces left, or 3 sections left. They're a little bit long. That's the reason why I wanted to hurry and get the other one finished. Okay, at this point we're going to finish working on the sole, because we left off where we picked up the stitches on the flap and then we knitted. I've already knitted the other 2 rows. So at this point we're going to start row 5, where we're going to start doing the decreasing. So if you look on here, you can see how it's kind of rounded here, and it's a little rounded here. That's what makes it fit the baby's foot a little bit better. Of course, when the booty's worn, it'll be laying like this, because there's the toe we did, those 9 stitches. All right, so let's get started. Oh, well, before I do, I want to show you what this is. I'm sure some of you are curious what this thing is that I've been using. It's actually, let me put this back. It's actually this set here, the Denise Interchangeable Needles. It's really a nice set. You have all these different parts and pieces. What I use is this little shortest one and the little buttons. They call them buttons. And I put it at one end, and they twist and they lock into place. And then you pick up whatever needle you want to use, put it on the other and twist it and lock it in place. And then you can actually knit onto the needle. And when you're done, take your other button and put it on, and then you got a stitch holder that's very flexible. And when you get ready to knit again, you put your needle back on, slide your stitches up, and you're ready to knit. I just thought you may like to see what I was using. You can buy this through the actual company. The website is, let me move this up so you can read it. It's called knitdenise.com. You can buy this through them. I'm not sure at this point, they're $59 or $69 for the set plus shipping, but it's a real nice company to work with. And these are great little needles. They come size 5 through size 15, and the circular part of the needles are everything from like 6 inches all the way up to these really long ones. And you can actually join them together with these little connectors. If you wanted to make a super long one, put a little connector and grab another one and hook it to your connector. So now you got a really, really long one. So it's entirely up to you how you want to use this set. It's very, very versatile. Get this out of the way. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. All right, so now we're going to start with the sole. Let's get my thing back up where we were before so we can see what we're doing. Okay, now we're going to be on row 5, where we're going to knit 2 together, then knit, for me, 18, knit 2 together, knit 7, knit 2 together, knit 18, knit 2 together. So we're dropping down from, I don't know how many stitches we had way up there. I don't even think I even put it on. Oh yeah, 51 stitches. So we go from 51 stitches down to 47. And then we knit 3 rows, and then we do another bunch of decreases down to 43 stitches, and then knit 2 rows. And then we have a bind off row. So we'll go through this section, and then the finishing on how to sew it together. So let's go ahead and start with the next part. The yellow is really hard to see, I'm sorry, but I had no idea it was going to be this difficult. So we start with knit 2 together, and then we knit 18. That's the reason why I wanted to just do parts of it, because that's a lot of stitches to knit for you just to watch, and there's no need for you to watch me knit all those rows. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then you knit 2 together. This starts curving the, excuse me, the front. So you have your actual front of your foot. Okay, so then we knit 2 together, knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we knit 2 together, well, up here, knit 2 together. Then we're going to knit 18. Or just knit till you get down to the last 2 stitches if you don't want to actually count all 18, because you'll only have 2 stitches left once you get down to the 16 or the 18, depending on which size of bootie you're making. You can also make a little chained, string, if you wanted to run it through the top of the bootie so you can tie it onto the baby. You could do that too if you wanted. Okay, I'm down to 2. Now then we're going to knit these 2 together. If I can, it doesn't really want me to get this last one. Let me stretch it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now that would be row 5. So I'd have 47 stitches. Now row 6 through 8 is just plain knit across, which I'm not going to do because you know how to knit. So let's jump ahead. Okay, I've done all of them, and as you can see, the knit 2 together has caused this to curve on the front. So you got the front of your toe. This is your 2 sides and your back. And at this point, I just finished rows 10 and 11. 11 is on the front, so that's what this is. So now I'm going to show you how to do the bind off, including the knit 2 togethers. So let me take this back just a smidgen. Okay. So you knit 2 together. Now we're going to start the bind off. So we're going to bind off, in this case, 15. I guess I should bring it back up. It was a little better up there. Okay, so now we're going to bind off 15. So there's 1. Okay, you knit the next stitch. Take your first stitch up and over your second stitch. That's your second bind off. Knit the next stitch. Take your first stitch up and over. That's your next bind off. So there's 3. We do it again. There's 4. Do it again. 5. We do this for 15 of them. 6. I found if I keep my yarn back here, it gives me a little tension to hold the stitch, because if I don't have the tension on it and I go like this, the whole thing slides off and then you have to put it back on. So I found by holding this back, I have enough tension on this stitch that this stitch I can slide over it without it going anywhere. What was that? 6? I lost count. 7. Well, this will be close. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. I'm going to count just to make sure. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, 15. I'm at 15. Okay. All right, so now we've done the 15. Now we're going to knit 2 together and bind off 7. So knit these 2 together and bind it off. So that's number 1 of the bind off 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we bound off the 7. Now we're going to knit 2 together and bind off 15, or to the last 2 stitches over here. So we'll do our knit 2 together first. Now we're going to bind it off, just like we've been doing. First stitch over the second stitch and off the needle. So I'm going to do this a little bit faster. And then all that'll be left is to sew it together. The next video I'm going to do is going to show how to make a cute little chained tie that you can use on the mittens, and how I do my cute little tufty tail at the end. but that I'm going to do that on the next video because it'll be more for the mittens. But it can be used for anything. Anytime you need to put a tie, either like around the neck, around the cuff, wherever you, or around the top of a hat. It's a cute little way to finish it off and give it a nice look to it, and people will wonder how you did it. It was super simple. I'm going to show you that next, but first I want to get this finished. Almost there. Okay, I'm down to the last two. Knit these two together and bind the last stitch off. Now we're going to finish off. Bring it out. Insert your tail in the loop and pull it tight. Okay, so now my bootie's finished. Now, of course, you have a few tails. You'll have this tail to weave in. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have this tail to weave in, this tail to weave in, and you have a tail right here to weave in too. But we'll get to those later. Right now, let me try to take this back a bit. Okay, there's my tab. This is the thread I'm going to use to sew it up with. And I sew the bottom of the foot up the same way I sew my pot holders together. Grab myself a needle. Let me move this up a little so you can see how I sew together these edges. I hope the light shows it okay. Easier on the paper, possibly. All right, so first I put my needle in the other side, and then I go back to the first side because I'm going to make like a figure 8. I found if I do a figure 8 at the top of my bootie, it kind of makes it line up and a little nicer. All right, so then you want to go down and go through one horizontal loop on the side. And on this side, you want to go through 2. Actually, it's this one here, but I'm going to grab this one since it's there, and this one. And then you're going to grab 2 over here. 1, 2. And you'll grab 2 over here. Always looks like 3. Then you take 2 over here. And 2 on this side, and do it all the way down. We're just about to the bottom. There it is. And we grab this last one on this side. And then you want to pull a little bit snug. See how it kind of tightened up? Then you pull it back a little bit. And that's how you get the star stitch part sewn up. Now the next part is just plain stockinette. So it's what they would call the mattress stitch. You want to go under 2 horizontal bars. And then same here, 2 horizontal bars. There's one there, there's the other one. Then you come on this side, 2 horizontal bars, there's one there, and 2 on this side. I don't pull it tight to start with, I just keep it loose because it's easier for me to hold the stitches. You can see how I'm going through 2. Now if you come up short, like I'm a little bit short on this side, so I'll go through 2 on this side and 1 on this side. It's the easiest way to kind of adjust your work a little bit. And then you go through 2 on this side, and it brings you right to the top of your first roll of garter stitches and right to the top of your garter stitches here. Now at this point, I pull this tight. So it's nice and neat. And now you do the same thing here as you did over here. You go through 1, and you go through 2, and then you go through 2, go through 2. Well, this one I can only go through 1. I'm missing 1. And then go through 2. Sometimes you have to adjust a little bit, but being on the back of the bootie, it doesn't really show. Okay, then go through this one here. If I can pick it out, and then go through the last one on this side. And then the same thing, you want to pull it tight. Oh, not this one, this one. You're going to pull it tight. There. Okay, so now the next part is the bottom of the booty. Put all your little tails inside because we don't need those tails. We're going to work with this top one. See if I can bring this up a little bit. Okay, hope you can see it, but if you look here, you can see all these little stitches right here. Those are the ones we're going to use, and the matching one on the other side. So you would insert one stitch on the left, one stitch on the right, and then you go to the next one on the left and the right, and just do it all the way across. Like I said, this is the same stitch I do when I make my pot holders. And it's the same way, and it gives it a very nice look at the bottom of your booty. And you don't want to pull it super tight, but you definitely want to pull it to where it touches. And it gives a really, really nice finish. Just about done. And then I'll show you how I finish my toe, because I don't like the toe to have a little point. But you definitely don't want to pull this too tight either, because then the bottom of your booty will start to pucker. And you definitely don't want it to pucker. That's why you need to have this thread a good 2 feet long. It's surprising how much thread it uses up when you actually sew this little bitty booty together. Now you get to the top. I stick my finger inside. Then I go across the top. Doesn't matter where, I just go across the top like that, and then stick it right down inside. Grab your needle. See, it just makes it nice and rounded when you give the little bit of tug on the needle. See? And it's nice and rounded, so it gives you a really finished look. Turn your booty inside out. And then you want to weave your tail in. I usually do along this one edge here because it's a nice set of loops, so it works really well. And then I turn it around and I go back through the same way, because that kind of catches the thread and it kind of intertwines it with itself, and it won't come unwound or unwoven, I guess is the better way to put it. Then of course you would weave this one in here, and then you weave this one in the bottom and this one up here. As you can see, since we did the decreases or the knit two together, you get this nice round heel, and the same with the toe. Well, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed my video. I'll leave a comment at the bottom if you think there's something else I need to do to show it. You have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you in the next video.